Columbo is nothing short of a legend, not only among his peers, but nationwide as one of the best homicide investigators in history, who has been solving murders since the early 70s, probably back when Harry Morgan was still just a beat cop. On screen, Columbo has never canonically retired, but the last case he ever covered was in 2003, and he was a pretty old man by this point, and I'm sure he had a wife that was very, very eager for him to retire after a 35-year-long career. So assuming Columbo retires right after this case, by the time the Bay Harbor Butcher investigation is fully underway in 2007, Columbo will have been in retirement only 4 years. And considering we already know that Mrs. Columbo is a fan of the tropics and likes to go on the occasional cruise, it should be no surprise at all that Columbo and his wife wind up enjoying the company and the benefits of the already well-established and very large law enforcement retirement community that lives in Miami. Even in a community of retired hotshots from all kinds of law enforcement careers, Columbo's iconic status would immediately make him popular within those social circles, to a point that even local officials like Matthews, even if just for political reasons alone, would gladly shake his hand, play golf with him, and be his drink and cigar buddy whenever he could spare the time. Columbo himself probably isn't taking retirement very well, however, because as much as he talks about how much he loves his wife while he's on the job, it's not much of a stretch of the imagination that the vice versa could also be true, and being a homicide detective just really is a core of who Columbo really is. I'm sure when the ice truck killer investigation starts popping off on the news, Columbo is glued to the TV and the newspapers and deeply regrets his inability to involve himself in the case due to the location and his retirement status. However, with the complete dissolution of leadership in Miami Metro homicide causing a crisis both internally and with public relations, Matthews cooks up a crazy plan to help the department save face. Even though Columbo was an LAPD officer, not a Miami officer, Columbo's legendary status as a law hero and public figure is exactly the kind of person Matthew needs to put in charge if he wants to change the narrative of incompetence the press is pushing. And the higher-ups actually agree. And so does Columbo, who, to Mrs. Columbo's disappointment, no doubt, is eager to come back out of a short-lived retirement. He takes a few exams, which Matthews arranges for him to be easily hand-waved through, and then is instantly promoted to his former rank of lieutenant for, let's be honest, purely political reasons, and then is immediately given command of the Miami Metro Homicide Department. In addition to being a genuine hero, Columbo is also of Italian descent.